In the heart of the English Renaissance, a child was born who would grow into a figure of towering intellect and profound conviction, Sir Thomas More. Born in 1478, More was a spark of brilliance from an early age. His education at St Anthony's School in London set the stage for a life of intellectual curiosity and dedication to learning. This foundation paved the way for his future as a lawyer, judge, social philosopher, author, statesman, amateur theologian, and Renaissance humanist. More was a man of many pursuits, each contributing to his multifaceted nature. His career began to take shape as he studied at Oxford and later entered law at New Inn, one of the inns of Chancery. His early years were crucial in shaping the man he would become, a figure who stood at the crossroads of faith, philosophy, and politics. Thus, the young Thomas More stepped out into the world, brimming with potential and ambition. Amidst More's rise, a royal drama was unfolding in the background. King Henry VIII was married to Catherine of Aragon, but their union had not produced the desired male heir to secure the Tudor dynasty. Instead, they had a daughter, Mary. As years passed, Henry's eyes began to wander, landing on the young, charismatic Anne Boleyn. Anne was everything Catherine wasn't, youthful, vivacious, and tantalizingly elusive. Henry was smitten, and his desire for a son began to eclipse his duty to his queen. He yearned for a new marriage, a fresh start that might give him the son he so desperately sought. But there was a problem. The Church, under the Pope's authority, forbade divorce. Yet Henry was not a man to be easily deterred. Henry's desire to annul his marriage to Catherine had far-reaching consequences, both politically and religiously. It threatened the delicate balance of power between England and Spain, Catherine's homeland, and risked the wrath of the Pope and the Catholic Church. This desire for a son, an heir, would set the stage for a religious and political upheaval that would shake England to its very core. A storm was brewing, and Sir Thomas More would soon find himself at the heart of it. From the courtroom to the corridors of power, More's star was on the rise. The year was 1529, and Sir Thomas More had ascended to one of the highest positions in the land, Lord High Chancellor of England. It was a role of great prestige and even greater responsibility. But More was no stranger to either. He had served as a lawyer, judge, and statesman, and now he would serve the crown. In the midst of political turmoil, More found time to pen one of the most influential works of his era, Utopia. This fascinating work, published in 1516, introduced an idealized society where private property doesn't exist and people live harmoniously without the need for lawyers. It's a place where everyone is educated and religious tolerance is the norm, quite a contrast to the England of his time. This radical vision of a perfect society has since inspired countless philosophical and political debates and shaped our understanding of what a utopia can be. But More's intellectual pursuits did not stop at designing ideal societies. He was also deeply engaged in the religious debates of his time. The Protestant Reformation was sweeping across Europe, challenging the authority and doctrines of the Catholic Church. More, however, was not swept up in this wave of revolutionary thought. Instead, he stood firm in his Catholic faith and became a vocal critic of the Reformation. He publicly denounced the theological views of Martin Luther, Huldrych Zwingli, and William Tyndale, prominent figures leading the Reformation. More argued passionately against their interpretations of Christian doctrine, defending the sacraments and the authority of the Pope. His writings and debates painted a picture of a man deeply committed to his faith, willing to challenge anyone who threatened the religious order he held dear. Yet, his opposition to the Reformation was not just a matter of personal belief. It was also a matter of national security. More saw the Reformation as a destabilizing force that could lead to social chaos and political upheaval. He believed that maintaining religious unity under the Pope was crucial for the stability and prosperity of England. In his writings and his actions, More made his stance clear. He was a man of unwavering Catholic faith. His commitment to his beliefs, even in the face of radical change, is a testament to his intellectual rigor and spiritual devotion. But this unwavering faith would soon put him on a collision course with the king he served, setting the stage for his eventual downfall. When King Henry VIII sought to break away from the Catholic Church, More found himself in an impossible position. This moment, a crossroads of faith and allegiance, would prove to be the greatest trial of More's life. King Henry's desire to annul his marriage to Catherine of Aragon and marry Anne Boleyn brought about a seismic shift in England's religious landscape. The Pope's refusal to grant the annulment led Henry to take a radical step. He decided to separate from the Catholic Church and establish the Church of England with himself as the supreme head. This move was not just a personal whim of the king, but an audacious political move, a clear defiance of the Pope's authority. It was a decision that sent shockwaves through the kingdom and beyond, setting a course that would forever alter the religious landscape of England. At the heart of this shift was the Oath of Supremacy, a pledge that declared the king, not the Pope, as the supreme head of the Church of England. It was a direct challenge to the Catholic doctrine and an affront to those who held their Catholic faith dear, like Thomas More. More was in a quandary. He was a loyal servant to the king, but his faith was an integral part of his identity. He firmly believed in the Pope's authority and the teachings of the Catholic Church. To endorse the king's actions would be to deny his faith, his conscience, and his God. More faced a difficult choice, a choice that would put his very life at risk. His refusal to endorse the king's separation from the Catholic Church and to take the oath of supremacy was seen as an act of defiance, an act of treason. But for More, it was a matter of conscience, a testament to his unwavering faith and commitment to his beliefs. Caught between his loyalty to the king and his faith, More chose the latter, a decision that would cost him dearly. His steadfast adherence to his conscience, even in the face of death, speaks volumes about the strength of his conviction and the depth of his faith. Amidst the tumult of the Reformation, one man stands out for his ambition and deceit: Richard Rich. A man of humble beginnings, Rich quickly rose through the ranks of King Henry VIII's court, gaining favour and influence. His ambition was only matched by his willingness to bend his principles for personal gain. As the King's Solicitor General, his role was critical in the events that unfolded. In the trial of Sir Thomas More, Rich played a pivotal role, one that would seal More's fate. Rich claimed that More had confided in him, expressing denial of the King's supremacy over the Church of England. This testimony, though vehemently denied by More, was the damning evidence that convicted him of treason. It was a shocking act of betrayal, one that would forever tarnish Rich's reputation. But his betrayal did not end with More. John Fisher, a bishop who also opposed the king's supremacy over the church, met a similar fate due to Rich's testimony. Two men of faith convicted on the words of one ambitious courtier. Rich's treachery had a lasting impact on English history. His actions played a key role in consolidating King Henry VIII's power over the church, forever altering the religious landscape of England. But his legacy is a dark one, a stark reminder of the dangers of unchecked ambition and deceit. In the end, Richard Rich's name became synonymous with betrayal, a symbol of the treacherous court politics of the Tudor era. In the shadow of Richard Rich's treachery, another narrative of betrayal was unfurling. Thomas Cromwell, once a trusted advisor to King Henry VIII, found himself in the dangerous sphere of Tudor politics. Rising from a blacksmith's son to the king's chief minister, Cromwell's story is a testament to his shrewdness and cunning. His role was pivotal in the establishment of the Church of England, a move that served the king's desire for a divorce and a male heir. He also played a key role in the downfall of Sir Thomas More, using his legal acumen to trap More in a web of treason. But Cromwell's ambition was his downfall. His push to arrange the king's disastrous marriage to Anne of Cleves led to his arrest and execution for treason and heresy. In a cruel twist of fate, Cromwell, who had once been the king's most trusted advisor, found himself on the scaffold, a victim of the same brutal politics that he had once wielded so effectively. His story serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of power and betrayal. In the treacherous waters of Tudor politics, even the most cunning sharks can find themselves outmaneuvered and devoured. More was convicted of treason on what he claimed was false evidence, a verdict that would seal his fate. The trial of Sir Thomas More was one steeped in controversy and a clash of loyalties. A man of faith, he was accused of denying King Henry VIII's supremacy over the Church of England, a charge he vehemently denied. The evidence against him was largely based on the testimony of one man, Richard Rich, who claimed More had privately expressed such views to him. More, however, argued that Rich was lying, his integrity compromised by ambition and personal gain. While More's life was cut short, his legacy has endured for centuries. After his execution, he was revered by many for his unwavering faith and conviction. It was in 1935 that Pope Pius VI canonized More as a martyr, a recognition of his willingness to die for his beliefs, but his legacy didn't stop there. Fast forward to the year 2000, and we find Pope John Paul II declaring him the patron saint of statesmen and politicians, an acknowledgement of the pivotal role he played in the politics of his time. And so his life and work continue to resonate, influencing generations of thinkers, scholars and leaders. His writings, especially Utopia, remain as relevant today as they were in the 16th century, sparking debates about ideal societies and the role of government. Sir Thomas More, a man of intellect and conviction, remains a figure of enduring fascination and respect. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the life of Sir Thomas More, a true Renaissance man. We've explored his motivations, his convictions and the legacy he left behind. But our philosophical journey is far from over. Here at Philosophical Flicks, we dare to explore and examine the lives, ideas and legacies of the great thinkers from history and today. So, if you're passionate about philosophy or simply curious, consider subscribing to our channel. Join us in our future discussions, engage in debates, and expand your understanding of the philosophical world. And remember, philosophy isn't just about understanding the world, it's also about understanding ourselves. Until our next philosophical journey, stay safe, take care of yourselves and each other, and keep questioning, because that's the heart of philosophy. See you next time.